So basically, in the beginning of the movie, they're transporting Kong overseas, and then Kong is all like,
"What's up? Can a low come up in your crib?"
and then Godzilla is all like,
"Man, fuck you. I'll see you at work."
so Big Monkey is all like,
"Oh, nigga, don't hate me because I'm beautiful, nigga. Maybe if you got rid of that old yee-yee ass haircut you got, you get some bitches on your dick."
What's going on, guys? Alright, so I just got out of the theater from seeing Godzilla vs. Kong, and let me tell you, it was good. It was good. I liked the third act, but there was still some things that needed to have been finished that were not, and that was really disappointing. Because, like, we all knew about the third act cop-out, but I just thought that they would finish what they started, and they didn't really do that, and I was kind of low-key disappointed. But the action in the third act was actually really good and really entertaining. If you check the runtime of this movie, though, it's like an hour and 58 minutes. It's like barely 2 hours. I think it got Justice Leagued, where they basically forced it to be like under 2 hours, because this entire movie felt like a speed run. They speed run through this movie in like literally an hour, and it felt so short, and I was like, dude, they're just going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And on that same note, so much of this movie is spoiled in the trailers. Literally just the trailers. Like, I'm not gonna say because I don't want to like spoil it for people, but like the winning shot is literally in the trailers, and that pissed me off because I know exactly what shot I'm thinking of, and I remember being like, wow, they really put that in the trailer. Like really, like, don't do that, Warner Brothers. That's just please don't do that. That sucks. Don't do that. But everything else, they were straight up flying through exposition, and that was a good thing. Like, I liked that. But they've announced that this was supposed to be like the last one. This is supposed to be the end game of like the monster movies, and like that's it. And I'm kind of just like, cool. But there is a definitive winner, I will say. And for that, I will applaud them for sticking to their guns on that one. There was a definitive winner, but I felt like the way they handled it wasn't done as well as it should have. But despite that, still a good movie and still a good third act. I will say, though, that this movie felt like it got Justice Leagued, where it pretty much, like, the studio was like, you better freaking not make this 2 hours long. So they cut it, like, right at like an hour 58. So they were like, dang it, now you have to like trim everything. And it felt like every fight, like, we get 3 fights in this movie. The one they spoil for you in the trailer, the one that they spoil a good, I wouldn't say half of, but they spoil a good bit of it in the trailer, and then the third act fight. But like the second 2 fights should have been at least like 10 minutes long a piece, or at least 15 minutes long a piece, considering this movie is like almost 2 hours, and it just they weren't, and I was like really disappointed in that, just because it's like it felt like the movie should have been 2.5 hours long, and it should have gotten time to elaborate and expand on its fight, not like, oh, they're gonna quickly tussle for like, like a solid 4 minutes, and then it's gonna be over, and it's like, really, and then they have this pointless side quest that they go on, where it's like, why did we even bother to go on this pointless side quest for a character? I won't get into specifics, but I think, like, even though this movie was good, because I knew what was happening, I'll give it that. They show you the trailer so you know what's going on, so you won't just be sitting there thinking, like, being puzzled the whole time. But there was a lot of stuff that I felt like got skipped, and I don't appreciate that. The action was still amazing, though, and specifically the third act fight. My one problem with the third act fight was the fact that after they finish it, there should have been another fight at the end after that, which I don't want to say without saying that You know what? At the end of the day, though, that third act fight should have been at least like 15, 20 minutes of the movie. And no, I'm kidding. But really though, like the third act fight should have been at least like 15 minutes of the movie, dude. Like, but I don't know. I kind of have mixed feelings on it because of reasons, but I don't want to like spoil anything. But I will say this, right? Like, if the MonsterVerse ends this way and like they're not continuing after this, I'll just kind of be like, all right, cool, whatever. Like, it's done. You know, it's alright. But like, it's good, but it's just not like it's good. Cause like, I don't want to say too many negatives about this movie because the movie was good. It's just that like when you really sit down and like think about it, it's like, I mean, these movies anyway, to be fair though, they don't have long shelf life just because like you need a theater to enhance like a Godzilla or a Kong movie. It's about the theater experience of it. It's not really about the movie itself. Because when you watch it on like a TV or something like that, it's just like it's way less epic, you know? So their shelf life is really the span of their theater runtime is really what it is. But at the end of the day, I still did like it. It just really felt like the movie was robbed of at least like 30 extra minutes, all of which should have been filled with one gigantic monster or another pounding the living crap out of each other. And it just didn't happen. And I really hate that it wasn't that way. But it just didn't happen, so that's kind of sad. But I will say, like, they put up a fair fight, but it's like, I just, like, you blink a couple of times and, like, you're like, oh, really? Like, is it actually over? You know? There is one fight, which I will call the deciding fight, right? And my biggest problem with it is the fact that because it's in Hong Kong, and it's in Hong Kong at night, you can't really see, like, I mean, you can see parts of it, but, like, Godzilla and Kong are both black. Like, you can't freaking see them at night as well. And there were a lot of sequences along with that where they just had, like, like, they would cut to white screen and, like, it would be, like, super intense lights, and I didn't like that. But I did love how that there was at least a decent fight put up. I will say that. And I could see why the critics like this movie. All of that said, still think it was a good movie, but at the same time, I don't think this is that piece of 2021 content that's exactly like, that's gonna like kickstart all the rest of 2021 as far as like media goes. I don't think this was 100% it. It was like 70% it, I guess, but not 100% it. We have not hit that with this movie yet. So it wasn't WandaVision, it wasn't Cobra Kai season 3, and it's not this entirely. So still waiting for that. Still waiting. But at the end of the day, it's still good. I'd go watch it while it's still in theaters. I liked it. And yeah. So definitely don't watch this on your phone. That would suck. Don't do that to yourself. You got to go watch it in theaters. So all right. I'll check you guys later. Peace.
Good night, girl. I'll see you tomorrow.